Welcome back, Swag Team. It's your boy, the Swagologist, back again with another SwagU review, and today we are doing The Last Dance, episodes 5 and 6, and they did not disappoint once again. This series is so good. We're at the halfway point right now. I'm very excited for Sunday, but let's talk about what's happening in these two episodes. We have Kobe Bryant being brought up at the very beginning in loving memory of Kobe Bean Bryant. And I thought I was going to end up getting emotional and sad, but actually it just was a really cool look and an interesting look into the relationship between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. They brought you straight to the 1998 season's All-Star game, which it would be possibly Jordan's last season, in which we know what happens. But I love, like, this is basically a prequel of what happened. I love how all the NBA All-Stars were talking about Kobe and how he wants to make everything one-on-one, and how he wants to take on all the stars one-on-one. Doesn't matter how many shots he's taking, he's gonna go for it. Because one of the stars was like, after the first 4 shots, I thought he would chill out, and then Jordan was like, first 4 shots? After 4 shots, I'm not passing the ball again. If he wants the ball again, he better get his rebound. And I love the little banter they was having, and then Kobe just seeing him talking about Jordan, I thought was going to spark a little bit of emotion. I did feel a little emotion coming, but it didn't really get sad or anything. I just was like, oh, this is really cool, interesting look into their relationship as a brotherhood, basically. Kobe looks at Jordan as a big brother, and I didn't realize how much Jordan helped his game and explain little things about how he did things when he did his turnaround fadeaway jumper, and gave like Kobe pointers on how to do that better and more efficiently and stuff like that. And I thought that was really dope. I thought that was really cool. I like that part. And then we move on to learning more about Jordan's shoe deal. Jordan decided to wear his retro ones in the game in New York in Madison Square Garden, which would be possibly his final game there, which, like I said, is like a prequel, so we kind of know what's going to happen, but it's fun to see the journey. He decided to wear his retro ones, and everyone's making a big deal of it because, like I said, it could be his final game in Madison Square Garden. He decided to wear his retro ones, which led them to going back and talking about the first time any NBA star or any basketball star decided to get a signature shoe and go the way like all superstars do, like superstars do now, in getting their own signature shoe. And this was not really heard of with basketball players. Mostly tennis players would get their signature, like rackets, and Muhammad Ali and people like boxers had their signature gloves and shorts and whatnot. There's this one guy that believed in Jordan that he could get him a shoe deal. And the craziest thing to me about that whole thing about the shoes is that Jordan actually wanted to go with Adidas first instead of with Nike. And that, like, mind-boggling. I had no idea, because now you look at Nike, it's like no-brainer Nike. Like, if you had to choose between Nike or Adidas or something like that, it would just seem like you'd mostly go for Nike. But at the time, Adidas was like the thing that was making good basketball shoes and sneakers for basketball, whereas Nike at the time was just like a track running shoe place, you know what I mean? And it was just coming up. Like, it is not what Nike is today at that point. And basically Jordan helped make Nike what it is today, and sparking a new brand and everything with the Air Jordans, because they had this new air sole technology for their tennis shoes. And the guy that was pitching the deal to get for them to sign Jordan was like Air Jordan, and the dude at Nike was like, Air Jordan, that sounds like it's got a nice ring to it, and they went with it. So now Air Jordan is like popping off the shelves, and now people are associating, like, having a Jordan shoe is almost like having a lightsaber as a kid. Like, that, how dope that would be, and how much prestige that would be, as a kid. And I mean, I want a lightsaber right now, so I know what time it is. And you see, I got Jordan, so I know what I mean, how important this was to people. But I love learning more about that, because I had no idea that even Adidas would even cross his mind. And it was crazy because Converse was like, they had all, like, at the time, Converse was the big shoe deal, big shoe for basketball. It was the NBA shoe, it was the shoe of the NBA. Now Converse, I don't even think anybody who wears Converse in the NBA anymore. But they was the big shoe company for basketball, and they couldn't see Jordan over the Larry Bird, Bernard King, Magic Johnson as a rookie. But I bet they wish they would have done it now. You never know what you're getting till you got it. Then they moved on to learning about the Dream Team, and the Dream Team was lit. I love the Dream Team. I love learning about the Dream Team. And I always wondered, there was a lot of people that was always wondering why Isaiah Thomas didn't get selected over John Stockton. Because, I mean, John Stockton was good, but he was not as good as Isaiah Thomas was at the time anyways. You know what I mean? And you come to find out now, most people blamed it on Jordan. I mean, there's a good reason why. I mean, Jordan did ask who's playing, and he's like, well, Isaiah's not playing. You ain't got to worry about that. Because he was like, what do you mean at first to the guy that was asking Jordan, does he want to play in the USA team? Because this is the first time, and this is also, I didn't realize that the Dream Team is the first time the USA decided to bring all the greatest NBA stars to one team. Before, we wasn't even doing this. So I didn't know this was a new era, a new thing that we wasn't really doing before. So then they decided to do that, and like I said, people blame Jordan for not having Isaiah on the team, but in actuality, it was probably the whole team almost, because Isaiah like kind of gets under people's skin, always taunting people, always, you know, he's a little pit bull, a little agitator, kind of like Patrick Beverly or your Lance Stevenson, stuff like that. So he's a little agitator, a little pest, you know what I mean? And he had his thing with Magic Johnson. He had his thing with Larry Bird. He had his thing with Scottie Pippen. That's half your team. So not only that, you aggravated all of them, and then you aggravated the star of stars, you know what I'm saying? The all-star of all-stars, the superstar of superstars, Jordan. Yeah, you're not going to be on the team. And, I mean, you fit the criteria, but you can't do that and expect to be on the team. People don't really like you. They know you're good, but they don't like you. You know what I mean? And it's hard to, you know, overcome that when you made yourself really not liked. So that was interesting, but I really enjoyed learning more about the USA basketball team. And in turn, I ended up learning about Tony Kukoc and how he actually had a rough situation coming into the NBA because Jerry Krause, the known hater, because I mean Jerry Krause hates so much on his team to where when they won the '93 championship game, he was like, the organization is the greatest organization like ever. You know what I mean? It starts from Jerry and goes on down to these people, and he was like, you know, I mean, the players are good and great, but the organization, man, that's what I'm really proud about. That's what I really care about. We are the best. And he's like just pointing, it's like, I did this. They didn't do anything. They did a little bit, but I mean, we really are the reason we win these championships. And I'm like, man, dude, I don't know why you, why you have to do that. Like, that's so weird. It makes no sense to me. Like, this dude just has to be the center of attention. And he just tries his hardest to take away from Jordan. So I could understand why Jordan did what he did, you know what I mean, in leaving both times. And we're going to learn about more of that in episodes 7 and 8, so I'm very excited about that. But Jerry Krause is an extreme hater. So Jerry Krause, anytime Jerry Krause likes a player, Jordan and or Scottie does not like that player. You know what I'm saying? You don't fuck with them. Like if Jerry Krause fucks with him, Jordan and Scottie Pippen do not fuck with them at all. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, not gonna happen. So in turn, Jerry Krause likes Tony Kukoc a lot. He likes Tony Kukoc. He went out in there and checked him out, and he declared that Tony Kukoc is going to be the Chicago Bulls' future. And that rubbed both Scottie and Jordan the complete wrong way. So they took it out on his ass the first time they played him. The first time they played him, made him have 0 points, 4 rebounds. I mean, he had a terrible game. And they were just going in on him. They beat him by like 30 points. And because they was playing like Croatia or whatever. And they beat their dog piss out of him. And I was like, man, that is messed up. And it got to the point where Scottie Pippen was like, if he can't handle this, then he can't handle 2 games in the NBA. You know what I mean? And that wasn't really fair to Tony, because Tony didn't do nothing to them boys. It was just all because of Jerry Krause. And Jerry Krause is such a hater. And every time they could make Jerry Krause look bad, they made sure they made him look bad. But shout out to Tony Kukoc for the next time they played him in the finals, he actually played really good, played his heart out, you know what I'm saying, and played well, you know, for his country or whatever. So that was really dope of him to be able to bounce back like that after they just D'd him up that first game and just showed him we are not about this, like, because motivation comes in any kind of slight towards Jordan. Jordan's gonna make that a motivation. But when you slight at Pippen is petty. Pippen is extremely petty, but I love all his pettiness. Scotty Maurice Pippen, keep on being petty, Brody. I love it. So then we go from there to learn more about how Jordan superstardom just overtook him. It became more of like a burden after a while because he's such a superstar. And then the series gives a really good perspective on how Jordan handles being Jordan. Like being like Mike is not all it's cracked up to be. It's not the greatest thing in the world to be like Mike because, you know, people always want to be like Mike or whatever. There's even that little song, a little Gatorade commercial, be like Mike. But that means you have to be perfect. And not only perfect on the court, but perfect all around for like 24 hours because everybody could see you. And I can only imagine if he was in the league right now. But then at that point, you realize that, dang, the only time he has like time to himself is like in a hotel room. That's it. After that, when he walks out, there's a group of people right there. When he walks into the street, group of people. Walks into the stadium, group of people. Walks down the hall, group of people. And it's like constant pressure. And then you got the media you got to talk to. And then you got to perform on the court and be Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Be the GOAT on the court. So you got to be the GOAT on the court, off the court, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You only get a little small time to yourself in a hotel room 90% of the time. Other than that, you got to be around your teammates and everybody, and you got to show them you're a leader. You got to just do all of this stuff. But Jordan did it, and it's amazing that he could handle it. But I can understand why this overwhelming pressure would cause him to want to leave the game. And we're gonna learn, like I said, we're gonna learn a lot more about that in episodes 7 and 8. But it never dawned on me that being like Mike was so difficult. I mean, I know it's difficult, but I didn't know it was like, I didn't process it in my head, like marinate in it. And this allowed me to marinate in the fact that, you know, it's tough to be like Mike. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can be like Mike. I think only Mike can be like Mike. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine, you know, how to be like Braun, like being like Braun or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like with social media and stuff, I don't even know if Jordan could handle being like Mike in this day and age with everybody has a phone, everybody has a camera, everybody has a social media handle. You know what I mean? It'd be kind of nuts. But I mean, he doesn't have a social media handle as far as I know. I don't think Jordan even has Twitter or anything of that nature. So, but I commend him, you know, and I respect him a lot more for his said decision. And I'll see if I respect him a lot more in episodes 7 and 8. But that's what we really learned a lot more about, is about how competitive Jordan is, because the gambling, people think that he had a gambling problem. That was part of the thing that set off his retirement, early retirement, I believe, is because at one point they was going game 1 against the Knicks. They played and lost against game 1 against the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Jordan decided to go with his family and go gamble at this casino outside of New York. He wanted to leave New York because everybody, you know, was talking about the loss and all that other stuff and the pressure of the season, and they just got a 2-peat and they're trying to go for a 3-peat and they just lost. And so he wanted to get away. But now they're pointing the fingers at Jordan like he threw the game and stuff just because the way he gambles. He's a competitive gambler, but he's always been a competitive gambler because his problem is not gambling. His problem is actually being competitive. He cannot help but be competitive. I mean, there was one point in the series in episodes 5 and 6 where they was playing the Trailblazers for their second championship, I believe. They were 2-peat, and they was going against the Trailblazers, and they was comparing Jordan to Clyde Drexler, and Jordan was just not having it because, I mean, yeah, Clyde Drexler was good. He even admitted that he was good. He was a threat. But him comparing them felt like a slight to Jordan, so Jordan took it to his ass game one and never let up the rest of this series. And in game one, he was just constantly coming down hitting threes. Bang, hit another one. Bang, hit another one. Bang. And this is the shrug game. And the reason he shrugged is because Urban Magic Johnson, was doing the broadcast for NBC, and they was playing cards the night before. And I love that the series always teaching stuff that I was kind of thinking was urban legends, because I've heard some of this stuff before, like that he would play 5 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning against Magic Johnson with cards and stuff, and want to play another game, another game. You know what I'm saying? And Magic even brought that up in the USA part of the Dream Team USA team segment of the documentary. He brought that up earlier. But anyway, so the reason he shrugged was because they was playing cards, and he was like, "You know what's gonna happen tomorrow, Michael." Talking to Magic, "You know what's gonna happen tomorrow? I'm gonna give it to this dude." You know what I'm saying? And he showed up there. He was like, bang, bang, bang. Hit that last one, bang. Was like, you know, I mean, I don't know, man. I just, you know, I'm just giving it to this dude. You know, talking about killing him. So yeah, that was interesting. I love that. But mostly this is about how competitive Jordan is, and the reason being like Mike is not necessarily all it's cracked up to be, and how difficult that challenge is, but how Michael Jordan overcome being like Mike. But let me know how you feel about episodes 5 and 6 in the comments section below. Man, let me tell you, I enjoyed this series, and I can't wait to see 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're halfway through, and they haven't let up on the good stuff, man. My favorite parts of episodes 5 and 6 were definitely the Magic Johnson versus Jordan at the practice. That was awesome. And then my other favorite part was learning more about the shoe deal and stuff. I thought that was so cool to know that he would have went with Adidas. Just like, that never crossed my mind that he would have went to Adidas, because I never thought that Nike wasn't like top tier at one point, you know what I mean? So I thought that was really, really interesting. But let me know your favorite parts of episodes 5 and 6 in the comment section below. Also, if you're new here and you're trying to join the Swag team, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, or hit right here when it pops up on the side. Also, if you want to be the first in the Swag team to see a video when it pops up on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell, and it'll pop up right when you subscribe. So hit that bell ding, and you'll never miss a video when it pops up on the channel, whether it's on your computer, cell phone, tablet, whatever. So make sure you do that so you don't miss out on any of the swag when it drops. And yeah, let me know what your favorite part of episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance is in the comment section below, and on the social media sites. And until the next video, I love y'all 3000. I'll holla. Peace.